three ways that having boundaries, healthy boundaries, actually helps you to manifest, right? So, what is a boundary? A boundary is something that you put into place that is serving you and potentially somebody else. It's, I'll say, a guideline. Think of a basketball court. They have boundaries, something you have to stay within or stay without, right? You have to be in the court or out of the court, right? So the boundary is in basketball, it's the baseline and the sidelines, and that's for the players to stay in and the audience to stay out. So think of a boundary as a healthy sideline, a healthy baseline for you to live in a life that is of service to yourself and of service to others. So how does having a healthy boundary help you manifest? When you have a healthy boundary around um, time, and you have a healthy boundary around food, when you have a healthy boundary around relationships, when you have a healthy boundaries around sleep, there is clarity that comes from that. When our boundaries are all washed together and mixed up, it actually causes a lot of confusion and a lot of congestion in our thoughts and our energy and our feeling. So it creates with that congestion creates a cloudiness or maybe even a stuck feeling or uh, lack of clarity, just like unsure of who you are, what you want. And because there's so many boundaries that are intertwined, there is no space for clarity. So when you start to develop some healthy boundaries, you actually start to create space. I used to think the opposite. If you didn't catch that, see yesterday's show. But it creating space gives you an opportunity to create clarity. So having a healthy boundary creates the clarity, and clarity is a key for manifesting. You cannot manifest what you do not have clarity around. So boundaries are essential when it comes to creating space to create clarity. The second way boundaries are super powerful when it comes to manifesting, it helps you to be in the energy of giving and receiving, this flow of giving and receiving, because when you have healthy boundaries, you actually give to somebody else. Even at first, if they're not used to that healthy boundary, it is teaching them, it is serving them. So I think of my children, you know, I work from home. They used to come into my office all the time and think that they could ask me for anything. And having that healthy boundary there where I was like, you get to wait till I'm done or ask permission to interrupt or excuse me or anything like that. And that boundary gave them a sense of security, a sense of knowing, and also gave them patience and gave me space to do what I needed to do. And it gave them space to be in whatever feelings or whatever it is that they wanted. Or sometimes it gave them space to figure out how to do things on their own, right? How do I get, this is when they were little, how do I get a glass of water? How do I find something to eat? How do I make myself something? So it gave them that space. So it's a give and receive. So creating boundaries, manifesting is all about flow. It's all about receiving and giving and being of service, and receiving, being open to whatever good is to come into your life. They are so connected, so connected. And the last way that I want to share today that boundaries impacts your manifestation is that having boundaries and following through on your boundaries create a sense of trust, a trust within yourself. And when we're looking to manifest, when you are looking to manifest, the number one thing in manifesting is trust, trusting you. And as you trust you, you trust your higher power. And this beautiful synergy happens where you start to trust that things are unfolding in a beautiful way. When you set boundaries and you declare certain boundaries and you follow through, you're building trust with you. Now, if you declare boundaries and you don't follow through, guess what? You're breaking trust with you. So it's developing small baby steps. You know, I used to say I was going to do this, and this every day, right? Well, those are boundaries. Those are things that I put out there, that those are inside the court, right? I'm in the game. And if I didn't follow through with that, the universe is like, oh, She lied to herself. And so it's so important to, when you're declaring something and you're setting something up in motion, that you follow through, because the moment you start following through. So I changed it to one thing. Everything else, where this is what I would like to do, this is the one thing I'm doing. Right? And so following through, I started to build myself, which builds your confidence, which builds your self-esteem, which builds your trust. And those are all key ingredients in manifesting. Drop below your takeaways. What are you learning? What are you shifting? And what are you going to implement in your daily life? What boundary are you going to implement? And do share below. I'll see you next time.